Yo, what up, everybody? NathanJaredCroft here. Today I'm going to talk about the best henchman in the James Bond franchise, Jaws. Jaws is a fictional character from the James Bond film franchise. He is played by the late actor Richard Kiel. Jaws appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. In The Spy Who Loved Me, Jaws is a henchman. Jaws has an uncanny ability to survive any misfortune accident. In the original script for The Spy Who Loved Me, Jaws was supposed to be killed by the shark. However, Jaws was so well liked that the scene was changed to have him survive. Jaws was later brought back in Moonraker. In Moonraker, Jaws turned from being a bad guy to a good guy and becomes an ally to Bond. Jaws gains a girlfriend, and they live happily ever after. Jaws speaks one of his first and final lines before he is never seen again in the 007 franchise. Well, here's to us, giving a toast to his girlfriend and himself. At the end of Moonraker, Jaws and his girlfriend Dolly survive Drax's destroyed spaceship, and they head back to Earth. However, their landing location is unknown. It is mentioned that Jaws and Dolly did survive. In 1979, there were plans to bring Jaws back for a third Bond film, And For Your Eyes Only. And For Your Eyes Only, Jaws would have married his girlfriend Dolly. However, the producers decided not to bring Jaws back or Richard Kiel back because of a change in production, personnel, and a desire to make the Bond films more down on Earth. So Jaws has never been brought back or seen ever since Roger Moore's Bond was finished. Jaws was brought back in the James Bond video games like W7 Everything or Nothing, GoldenEye, and W7 Legends. Jaws proved a match for Pierce Brosnan's Bond in W7 Everything or Nothing. And Jaws proved a match for Daniel Craig's Bond in 007 Legends. On September 10, 2014, 3 days before Richard Kiel's 75th birthday, Richard Kiel died from a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease. Before his death, he suggested a team up with current Bond Daniel Craig in a future Bond film, stating by quote, "Could Jaws beat Daniel Craig? They could give it a run for the money, but who knows, he might be on Daniel Craig's side, if they paid me enough." Richard Kiel was also asked if the filmmakers wanted to bring him back as Jaws. Richard Kiel answered in an interview, stating, "Of course I would. I would love to do another one. I don't know how they would do it. It would take some clever writing, but it would be fun." Richard Kiel died at the age of 74. So right now, I think it's impossible for the James Bond makers to bring back Jaws due to the passing of the late actor Richard Kiel. Jaws is never mentioned in Spectre, along with Daniel Craig, who is about to reprise his role as James Bond for the 25th Bond film, which comes out in 2019, Bond 25. Spectre was released in 2015, and it was the 24th Bond film in the James Bond franchise. There is this new henchman who is a mixture and reference of Jaws and Oddjob, Mr. Hinks. He's silent like Jaws, and he speaks one of his first lines just like Jaws. I don't want to say it because I don't want to cuss. And while watching that scene with Daniel Craig and David Bautista, they fight on the train, it showed me the reference of Jaws fighting James Bond on the train back in 1977, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker. And it gave me an idea, just as a feeling. I wish Richard Kiel was there as Jaws so that Bond would be protected by Jaws, because Daniel Craig would be on Jaws' side. I would have loved to see the fight between Jaws and Mr. Hinks. I think Jaws would win the match, where Jaws would kill off Mr. Hinks by biting him with his steel teeth. Classic henchman versus new henchman, if Richard Kiel was still alive. So what do you guys think? Should Jaws be brought back, being played by another actor? Or should Jaws be mentioned? Or what do you guys think? I looked up, there's this Jaws lookalike who lives in the United Kingdom. His name is Gary Tiplady. He is 7'3". He wears steel teeth, and he is the real-life Jaws look-alike of Richard Kiel. He's 1 inch taller than Richard Kiel, who was 7'2". What do you think? Should Gary Tipley play Jaws as a replacement for Richard Kiel and to pay tribute to Richard Kiel in honor of his legacy from playing Jaws? Or should that not work because it would be a conflict? Leave a comment below and let me know. It would be cool to see Jaws, but if you think he should remain in the W7 franchise because he belongs in the classic Bond films like Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. I have a theory on what happened to Jaws. Since Jaws and Dolly survived Drax's destroyed spaceship and they landed back to Earth, they were found by NASA, and Jaws retired from being a henchman, and he and Dolly moved somewhere in the country of America, probably somewhere in Colorado, and Jaws decided to cut some trees down and turn them into logs with his steel teeth, and he developed a career with being a lumberjack, and he built Dolly and himself a house. They had kids, and they lived happily ever after. I think that's what happened to Jaws in the James Bond franchise. If you don't like my theory, that's just an opinion I thought I would share. Have a great day, and God bless.